Breakfast and HT with Khaone, where she set the tone. You know, what we are talking about is citizen responsibility versus responsible journalism in the age of misinformation. It came down to the mid-morning delights that we're talking about policy and governance. And right now, Kigo, we have in studio Uncle of the Nation. He calls himself Uncle of the Nation. The nation even calls him Uncle of the Nation. Is Moeladilotlhoko. Is the news broiler that we all see on Facebook. Most of the time it deals with, you know, missing person cases and some of the other news that are of interest. And on the line also is no stranger to the gaps of a mic, to the gaps of a studio, is none other than Kabo Ramasia. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to us about this here topic that is of paramount importance.
Ra leboga re le dumedisele bala ba ratile ba latedi ba station se se tona se. Ra Ramasia lo ena ra go amogela.
Dumela Kego le Marapedi ke tse sebaka se ke dumedise le ene Uncle of the Nation le baba ka sombare tse from se gaps FM.
Now, in the age of social media and fast-paced news cycles, the line between citizen responsibility and responsible journalism is often blurred. I think this one is a known fact. Citizens now have greater access to platforms for expression, but this also comes with the responsibility of sharing accurate and ethical information. Journalists, on the other hand, faces pressure to be the first with the news while upholding truth, fairness, and accountability. Added to this, the dangers of misinformation, unintentionally false information, and disinformation, deliberately false information, which threaten public trust and can cause social or political harm. Like I've already introduced our guest for this afternoon, we do have citizen journalist Moeladilotlhoko as well as a mainstream journalist Kabo Ramasia. We are talking the lived reality of news consumption and citizen journalism. So, Uncle of the Nation, what role do you see yourself playing in Botswana's information space?
Tota ka bokhutswanyane ke ka go rahela ke gore ke rupile mo go boneng le go bonela lehatshe la Botswana because go le mo go botlhokwa ha o neela batho information kana dikgang ke gone gore pele o tabogele ko pele o bone lehatshe gore tota lehatshe la Botswana ke eng le tshotseng lotlhe ka kakaretso go tswa go botsheka bokone go a bophirimatsatsi gore ko bohelong jwa letsatsi mme o itse gore batho ba ba begela dikgang tota dikgang tsa mo gae ke dihe lehatshe lengwe le lengwe le na le dikgang tsa lone tse e leng gore di teng mme hela tota nkare ka bokhutshwane ke le Uncle of the Nation malema lehatshe la Botswana being the brand identity ya Moeladilotlhoko news boela ke gone gore re tshameka role e tona tota mo lehatsheng ka go neela batho dikgang tse di sekong di buiwe ke ope kana tse di sa buiweng ke ope ka mabaka a tshireletso nngwe ya melao mengwe e rileng ke dumelang thata gore as for now la iso botse potswa teng ha re ise re affiliate le yone melao ye ka mabaka gone gore re eletsa gore ka re go ka amendiwa yone melao ye ya baakangwa e governor mo bega dikgang mo lehatsheng le la Botswana so that nnete tswele ko ntle go sa kgathalesege gore e buiwa ka mang ka gore nnete na e tsepame ka boammaaruri so rona hela tota ko bokhutlong jwa letsatsi we call ourselves a nation opener eye opener kana the society mirror gore re kanye gore le hatse le bonisa sotlhe tse di diragala mo lehatsheng mme re sa ikaega ka sepolitiki kana sepolitiki se sa re hupetse go ka bua dikgang tse dingwe ka
Let me put the same question to you, Ramasia. When he doesn't necessarily affiliate with any one body when it comes to media or how that information is disseminated. So, similar question to yourself: what role does the conventional media, what we call mainstream media, are we still relevant as the press of the day? Are we living in an age whereby Batwelo consider themselves as citizen journalists? They've surpassed the need for having mainstream media.
Okay. Thank you, Kego. Ke tla ka go dirisa Setswana le Sekgowa gore ba wa re tseng bothe ba kgone go tlhaloganya. First, I want us to begin by understanding the term journalism or Haribuaga journalism, what are we really talking about? Then I'll proceed to answer your question. I think to cut the long story short, journalism, by its origin, it entails collecting, analyzing, verifying, and presenting news regarding current events, trends, issues, and people. That is what we have gotten to know as journalism. Re tlhaloganya a form of communication what we call the 5 W's and H. The who, the what, the how, the where, the when, and the why. So if journalism does not answer those 5 W's and H, then it falls short of being called a journalism. Then we have to strike a distinction to know that there's your mainstream or conventional media, the radio, the television, let's have the film. But in this era, technology, where we have seen massive changes in terms of how the world of media or communications operate, we have gotten to know what is called digital journalism. Digital journalism, your name, is the same journalism that we have known and practiced before. Internet thing, mobile Facebook, blogging, TikTok, jalo. Then I'm going to set a distinction to say that what we call citizen journalism. But most of the time, people confuse citizen journalism with digital journalism. Citizen journalism, if you go back in history and read about its origins, it has always been there in history. But it's only that in the turn of the century, in the early 2000s, people are beginning to get exposed to it and know more about it because of this shift that was caused by technology, whereby citizens or just anybody out there can now play a role in the media ecosystem. Because I get how just a citizen or basic along the A1, then you come across a car accident, then you take pictures or videos, then you fly them on social media. I think you are now being a citizen journalist. It is done or performed by people and they have no training in journalism. Now, to answer your question, Kabo, I would say that mainstream media or media is in its state is going nowhere. It may be going through challenges in that technology, maybe declining revenues or declining sales because of competition from digital or online. But what I can tell you for a fact is that there is no way you can wake up the next morning and you are not going to know that, or you are not going to see a newspaper. A newspaper will always be there. A radio station, which is by far the most influential form of communication in the world, is there. The reason why we are having this conversation is because Gaps FM has called us and we are on a radio station. Without it, we couldn't be having this conversation. No, now the arrival of citizen journalism has been both a burden and a blessing for the media ecosystem, because it is a blessing in a sense that it opens up avenues for communication where people ordinarily they could not get voices to speak. That includes the marginalized people in societies. They can organize and really freely express themselves, and that is how we sort of enhance our democracy.
Mr. Ramasia, I think we get the justification for what exactly or where we are falling as the conventional media. But I think for the sake of time, there is a bit that we would like to discuss. So I think could we possibly move to the next question?
Okay. Yes.
Now, I'll go to you, Moeladilotlhoko, and then you can also chip in onto the question when Kabo, because oftentimes we hear the president of late, for lack of a better word, or maybe it is the right word to use, has been attacking the media.
Yeah.
You know, there's falsehood, and the likes. And yes, you are somebody who mostly deals with the missing persons and the likes, and we saw what happened in Lobatse with the former MP. I don't know what role you played in that scenario. Hali tela le gore mme ha gone ha re husitse sentetsela pedi to gain that trust again from the readers, from those who actually follow you because they believe in what you are saying. How do you regain trust from the public?
Tota hela ka bokhutswanyane ya ka ne o e bua ya ga tautona go boana a bua one magokwao. Kana tautona ga ra tlisediwa tautona hela yo tswang kwa go tetla o nne tautona. Re bua ka tautona e leng gore he has always been there, a lopa mme ebile a na le keletso ya go kotama setilo sa se ntseng ebile re mo rata le mo go sone. Mme ga ke dumele thata gore go tshwanetse go nna le ka ha le bang dilo ka teng go harologane thata le leitlho la go ka nna di bona ka teng ha santse a le teng, because ha re bua ka kganya gore dikgang tse dingwe tse tautona di buang gore media wa Botswana o bega I think na 90%
gona boammaaruri
ya dikgang tse di senang boammaaruri. Ke dumela jalo gore tota go gongwe ke tsela nngwe ya go leka go tshosa media gore go se ka nna le that press freedom, gore yaanong motho re ha ba bega dikgang bo ba akantse gore bana gone e gabedi e ka nna a checking point also mo go rona gore okay fine ha le bega le bege le itse gore mme gone tautona o batla boammaaruri of which le setšhaba hela ya ka go le mo code of conduct ya media ethics gore boammaaruri ke selo se se botlhokwa ebile se lopiwa. Mme gape ha o e lebelela yone tshetlana yone ya gone melao yone ka bonang bobega dikgang ke gone gore media ethics e bua thata ka setšhaba se o se begelang go na le puso kore puso is not even a junior or second primary reason why bobega dikgang bo tshwanetse gore bo bue boammaaruri. Bobega dikgang bo bua boammaaruri ka mabaka a gore bo isa boammaaruri ko setšhabeng se e leng gore ke sone se e leng gore we are driven by the society, by the community. Mo go ya me tota ya tiro yone ke e dira ka o setse o mentionne Lobatse ka kgang ya botlotso ka 2022. Ne ra bona tota tshologelo ya tatedi ya batho ba re sela morago le bone bobega dikgang, ka gore mo nako ya gompieno rona re setse re developile relationship e leng gore being angle of the nation batho ba kgona gore ba re ga re go neela Gaps FM story seo ra go se neela malome, but of which ga re re go tshwanetse gore go nne jalo, but we have developed connection between us and our followers. That is why we are calling them Moeladilotlhoko. Without you ga gona rona. So batho ba re ba tisa re ba eteletsa ko pele tota ke sone setšhaba se re se begelang. Jaanong mathata a matona a leng teraetso mo lehatsheng la rona la Botswana ke gone gore go tswa go loe bobega dikgang bo phuthetswe ka kgetsi e le bone ba itetlileng gore re phuthelwe ka yone ko bofelelong jwa letsatsi, mme ko bofelelong jwa letsatsi go helela go favor the rich, then the poor are being disadvantaged to this natural justice ya bobega dikgang mo ene gore ha ke na le madi go ra gone gore o bua le nna o le mega dikgang ka tsela e, ha ke sena madi go ra gore o ka bua le nna ka tsela of which ha ke re go tshwanetse gore go nne jalo. Ke ka haska mo ditone tse dintsi tse ne ra hela re heta go tsone ka gore go na le that fear e leng gore yaanong batho ba setse ba tshaba go bua. Ha re bua ka kgang ya go nyalela ga batho go tswa kgakala Batswana ba tshaba go bua tota ka dikgang tsa go nyalela ga batho. Ne re tshusiwa bogologolo gote ha o bua ka tsone o tla nyelela bora boko ba tla go tsa ha o bua ka tsone yaanong ile ha re ntse re tsena re be re lemoga gore ga se bora boko hela ba tla go tsayang ha o bua ka tsone le puso e tla go tsa of which go re kganela gore yaanong re
I like that you are bringing in the security aspect of things. When we are working in a company like Epsilon, maybe for some reason we are protected somehow, you know, by the place that we work, and you know that it has our backs. But for somebody, the issues of security, how do you deal with them?
Re sireleditswe raetsho ke setšhaba se e leng gore ke sone re se neelang the best interest. Like give example, batho bangwe ba tle ba nne ba e botse yone potso yone gore malome o sireletsegile go le kae ha o bua ka tsone dikgang tse. ke batla go raya kere go le mo go intumedisang thata kana go le mo go ka nkutlwisang botlhoko thata ke ha setšhaba sotlhe se le kgatlhanong le nna go na le ope hela a le kgatlhanong le nna because tota nna re direla setšhaba ha se sa itumela ga re a tshwanela go itumela mme ebile a ka nne o boditse potso la ntlha le gore yaanong ga e le gore go le gongwe ga lo a bua sentle kana lo buile dikgang tse di seng boammaaruri lo boela lo reng ko setšhabeng ra itse re batho re santse re tshwere our moral values as the nation yaka Batswana e leng kganya ya setho ka tsela e ntseng jalo gore wa ko bathong o reng ga o thulathulane le batho ke ra ke ya sekai ke heta ka bonako ke nnile le di-arrest di ka heta 10 tse ne ke tshwarwa ke puso ke le mo tirong e ke e dirang go tswa ko morago tse dingwe ke tshwarelwa dikgang tsa bo criminal trespass whereby ke tsene mo lapeng la gago ke be ke ta ke go botsa dipotso tse e leng gore ga wa nkgana ga ke setse ke tsena but puso ka mabaka a gore go le gongwe ba tlo ba dumela gore mme kgang eo e ne e sa tshwanela gore e ka be e tswetse ko ntle ka tsela eo ka be e tsene ka rona ko re na gore a kere ga re ise re tsene kwa mo melaong e governor bega dikgang ke gone gore bobega dikgang ra etsho go le gantsi ha go begwa mainstream media lo rata le gore according to the superintendent so and so go ntse yana but go na le matlho a gago go nna le matlho a ene yo o tshwanetseng ko re a bue go na le dikgang tse ke tla handika ka tsone go ntse go tsweletse like kgang e nngwe ke la diragala ko Moeding College whereby sekwele se sireletsa polao ya motho e diragetseng mo sekweleng e le gore yaanong ha ba tswa ba ko medieng ba bolelela media dikgang tse e seng boammaaruri gore go nne le stampede mo sekweleng ngwana ba helela ile gore o tlhokagetse but
No, sorry. I wanted to pose the same question, gents. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. But I wanted to pose the same question to you, Ramasia. Misinformation. We see it every other week, whereby one of the media houses issues a rebuttal, got an apology. In the world that we're living in, with the media, do you not think that the integrity of the news, had it from a reputable news source like a newspaper or even from the radio, are we doing ourselves an injustice sometimes by being quick to want to run with stories to the press? Meresa verify kind of can't tell what the stories that in this maruri. Misinformation. Talk to me about some of the challenges that you might go through.
Okay, thank you, Chico. Maybe go to press vakanyana because tota ne di batile gona le nako ya leteleta.
Okay.
When you talk about journalism or the news media industry, you have to talk about facts. You have to talk about verification. You have to talk about according people the right of reply. You have to talk about balancing stories. You have to talk about objectivity. Those are the tenets of what we call ethical journalism. So if I get a story, it is my duty as a journalist or as a reporter to see to it that I cross-check that information that is coming from sources. I give, the persons who are involved in such allegations the right to respond to whatever allegation that is being put against them. If I get a tip that I don't just rush to Facebook and publish that story as it is. I have to contact you, Kabo. I got information from sources. Can you confirm or deny? When did that happen? If I'm forthcoming with the details, you'll note my side of the story and put it alongside what your sources are saying. If maybe I'm unavailable for whatever reason, I could be in a meeting, the phone is at I don't just call my phone once, then when you drop the line, he was not available for comment. You have to give me a fair and reasonable time frame so that I can respond back. When I'm unable to respond, evade, as it happens mainly when journalists are pursuing stories, that is when now you can publish the story and indicate that you had given them ample time. But you know that journalism is about timeliness for it. If I get a tip, I need to be the one to break the story. So if Moeladilotlhoko gets something and he wants to rush with it, he has to make sure that he has ticked all the right boxes. Otherwise, we bring in an issue here where we are going to be defaming people's characters. Because at the end of the day, we must understand that journalism is not above anything in society. It's not above the subjects that we report. about Idile. I tend to differ with him when he says that Bone or Moeladilotlhoko, they don't subscribe to any code of ethics and any law, because there is no profession either here on heaven is not governed by any code of ethics. That is why even mainstream journalists will still get arrested. You published alarming publications. Alarming publications re posta ka sengwe se ile gore sa go insaeta batho mme go sena boammaaruri mo pegong ya teng re go hella go gona le strike kana go hella go nna le batho ba tshuba lobo la khota ka bana ba le tshuba go mo lepolole Moeladilotlhoko a reporting. So what then should as media, whether citizen or mainstream media, do to ensure we get our stories right? We follow those, we accord people the right to respond, and we balance our stories, and we are objective in our reporting. I don't think there's anyhow that the government is rebattling things. The rebattling things, territory bona, the apology, the retraction, what the entire story say, how certain say, Ragosekisa, can I apologize? I also apologize, Ragosekisa, is because both mainstream and citizen journalists. Because nowadays, this media breaking news, we rush to break stories without even verifying whether is the news correct or not. Then at the end of the day, we end up even missing even some of the most basic things like, Mainaba to and so forth. And also maybe hanga o hasekaika ka yone ya ga tlotlo that you earlier on alluded to when the show started. It's fine. Where we are right now, it implicated the former minister and Parliament, Dr. Maseka. It's something that was in the public domain. Being the term that is always used. But as a journalist, what is your duty? Your duty is to get the story from Tlotlho's family. If Tlotlho's family is willing to engage with you to say that this is a minor, we also need to understand the rights and responsibilities that journalism carry. If you are going to report a story, you have to seek consent from family picture and all that, because it is a story that is of public interest.
Running out of time. I just wanted to have a closing statement from you, Moeladilotlhoko. Do you see yourself as a threat or an ally to the mainstream media? How can you best work together to make sure that the Kabo, just in a minute, just to say this new digital journalism that we see, how can we, as the mainstream media, best align ourselves with it instead of because the fact of the matter, I think what the president is saying mostly comes from this digital journalism, and now is painting everybody with the same brush when it's not the case. In a minute,
tota hela lo rile nako e khutshwane ke rilalo because ke utlwile ka ne KB a bua ka teng gore he's misinformed from a media house about us, of which gore gone gore go nkgatla thata gore tshwantse gore lo re bitse lo re tlhaloganye. Ke ratile gore le be le re biditse lo re tlhaloganye because ke kgona go utlwa ka bua a lot of misinformation about me ke lefa, especially in relation to the story sa ga Tlotso.
No, but in him what it wasn't misinformation.
If I'm saying if I'm saying it's misinformation, he can't just go abare mo parliament ona helela implicated as if Moeladilotlhoko implicated mo parliament, like ga ke se ke tshware mo parliament o tshwere ke puso e be helela ntshwere le nna ke ra gore ba ka nka gore ke kgona go bona batho ba le bantsi ba ibua yalo, and I wish I could someday clear it so that batho ba kgone go tlhaloganya what really happened. But helela go bjolong jwa letsatsi because re lelekile nako ke gone gore tota rona re eletsa gore bobega dikgang ga bo a tshwanela gore bobega ka dikgatlhegong hela tsa puso o stiketo kra o line le go hela ka ka teng ba gololesegile puso dikolo tse kana batho ba tshwanetse gore go gololesega babega dikgang ebile ba tshwanetse go ya ka community ga ke heleletse ke potso e ke e botsang se e leng gore se begela dikgang ka ga tlase ga one makalana a so that le bone lentswe la bone le kgone gore le nne teng mo dikganyeng tse tsotlhe gore re se ka ra re nyame kore ke bua kganye ka gore ke sebete se molangwana thata ka dikgang di dintsi ga gongwe di begwang ka teng re lebeletse gore di are in favor of batho ba go neng go ke bagolo bogologolo e le gore yang di tseelwa ko thoko ba e leng gore yaanong ba bone ga bana mantswe ga bana madi ba gatelelwa ka mbaka tsone dikgang tsone tse dintseng jalo
hey, unfortunately, I do apologize profusely. I cannot especially when you are falling on a point, but maybe if you can make yourself available, we would greatly appreciate it. I think more than just the 30 minutes, maybe we can run for an hour, just have a very, very open and candid conversation. Information we can have that conversation if you'd be so kind as to give us on Wednesday. Communicator. Kabo, I'm so sorry, man, but unfortunately it's time for me to go to the news. But thank you very much for your time. Can we pick up this conversation again on Wednesday? Okay. Definitely, guys. Wait is almost over. The second edition of the Motswedi board game is coming soon, bigger, better, and ready to connect families, schools, and workplaces across Botswana. Since our inception, we have proudly distributed over 3,000 games nationwide, and now there is a limited opportunity for brands to be placed on the brand new edition. Secure your brand name, product offerings, and logo on their playing cards, and for enhanced marketing benefits, call and WhatsApp us on 74363422 or email placement at motswedigame.co.bw or follow Motswedi Game on social media.
Power to engage your world is on 94.1 FM.
And Betway is stepping it up to give you even more rewards with Betway is stepping it up to give you even more with Betway rewards. Whenever you bet on sports or casino, you earn points that you can convert anytime to funds. It's that easy. The best part is you can convert whenever you want and you can withdraw the funds or use them to place new bets. So start enjoying a whole new way to bet together and rewarded with Betways. Terms and conditions apply. No under 21. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly.
Excuse me, how much is your cheapest bed?
Oh, Dinelle, don't you have any regard for your health and well-being?
I don't understand. What do you mean? And who are you?
I'm the voice that appears when people make terrible bed choices, Dinelle. Cheap is not good.
A good quality mattress is an investment in your health and well-being and will provide the right balance between comfort and support to enable you to get a good night's sleep so that you recharge your body, ready to face the challenges life throws at you. Psst. You can lie down for a few minutes. I'll be back.
Thank you for educating me. And yes, I will take this one.
Visit our new, beautiful Moeladilotlhoko shop at the Design Quarter, Siploa Park, and dedicate yourself. We don't sell cheap. We sell quality beds that do wonders for your sleep and overall health. Moeladilotlhoko, we educate.
Motswana ko gae re boditse bagwebi ba Batswana ka dithuso tse ba di tlhokang go tswa ko Old Mutual.
Na kana tota ke batla dithuso tsa insurance tse ka godisang kgwebo ya.
Your business growth is our business, so we help you protect and grow your valuable assets. From tailored short-term insurance solutions, group life and funeral cover, to critical illness and credit cover, your business and employees are covered. Call Old Mutual on 399-5700 or visit oldmutual.co.bw today. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
Stay fresh and dry for longer with Shield. and stand a chance to win an all-expenses-paid trip to Morocco for you and a friend to watch the Zebras at AFCON 2025. The price includes flights, accommodation, and spending money. To enter, simply buy any 2 Shield products and WhatsApp your till slip to 78730-769 or follow the CA Sales Facebook page for more details. This competition ends on the 20th of June 2025. T's and C's apply.
Bringing the world closer to you. On air, online, on your mobile. This is Gabs FM News.
We take a look at news making headlines. Students left in limbo as DDT College stays open under court order, and 6 killed by a Palestinian gunman at Jerusalem bus stop. Very good evening to you with Gabs FM News at 6:04. I am Deboho Goto. Apologize for the late broadcast of the bulletin. Sambrana Psychiatric Hospital has announced an immediate suspension of outside snacks being brought in for inpatients. The hospital says the decision is aimed at protecting both the mental and physical well-being of admitted patients. Family members and friends will no longer be allowed to deliver snacks or food items to their loved ones receiving care. In a statement, the hospital explained that the measure is necessary to ensure a safe and controlled treatment environment and to reduce any risks that may come from outside food. While the hospital acknowledges the inconvenience this may cause to families, it insists that the policy is in the best interest of patient care and safety. DDT School of Medicine students have been left in limbo following a Gaborone High Court ruling that temporarily blocks the Botswana Qualifications Authority from revoking the college's accreditation. Earlier today, Justice Barnabas Nyamadzabo ruled that the institution may continue operating while legal processes are still underway. The BQA had withdrawn the college's recognition in June, citing serious academic and institutional failures, a move that sparked confusion and concern among students. In Parliament recently, MP for Maung West Caterpillar Hikuama called for the immediate shutdown of the school, accusing regulators of failing to protect students. He cited growing frustration among students who feel their time and future are at risk and are demanding urgent answers. Botswana is facing growing challenges in tackling online misinformation as the speed and viral nature of content complicates regulation. Speaking on Gabs FM's Iconic Today, Bokra's head of broadcasting and corporate communication, Masego Jeremiah, said algorithms often prioritize engagement over accuracy, while emerging threats like deepfakes and AI-generated content make regulation even harder. She stressed the need to balance content oversight with freedom of speech.
And you'll notice that a single post on a platform can go viral in minutes. So it gets amplified by algorithms that basically prioritize engagement over accuracy. So they don't look at when the information, when a post goes viral, it doesn't necessarily look at the fact checks and the accuracy. It looks more on engagement. And whenever some information like that, especially the one that is most interesting and not necessarily factual, that's what happens. So regulation in Mali challenge where mostly we are playing catch up. There's also technological complexities as well, because if you are dealing with the digital space or digital transformation, then there's also issues of deep fakes that we see coming up. Where they can just basically show dollar next saying something and you were never there and you never said those things. There's AI generated content as well. So there's a whole lot of complexities that we see coming up together with balancing free speech and control, because as much as we want to regulate, we shouldn't be seen to be over-regulating, because over-regulation is also, it risks censoring legitimate speech, because remember, much as there's misinformation and disinformation, there's also legitimate speech.
Botswana Editors Forum is urging journalists to maintain accuracy despite pressure to break stories quickly. Chairperson Lawrence Sirese told Breakfast in HD that fact-checking and source protection are essential to sustaining public trust, even as social media and citizen journalists drive competition for speed.
But right now, responsible journalism in Botswana today really means balancing speed with accuracy in the advent of digital media. I'm mentioning speed because when you opened earlier on, you spoke about WhatsApp and how news fly thick and fast. Before people can even be able to go and find facts, they are trying to compete with social media and news that are flying out there. And they more often
others would in one of the deadliest shootings and at Tremor Junction on the missing
We appreciate forecast weather conditions for tomorrow as supplied by Meteorological Services. Starting out in Zabong, fine and warm conditions are expected to persist over that region, including its surrounding areas, while Hansi, Selebe-Peak, Francistown and surrounding areas are expected to remain partly cloudy and hot. Now, fine to partly cloudy and very hot conditions are expected over Maung, Kasane and surrounding regions, while fine to partly cloudy and warm conditions are forecast over Gaborone and surrounding regions. Now, do make sure to catch your next full bulletin tomorrow morning at 7 with Diana Mutu.
Music unlimited on Gibbs FM.